Hello everyone, my name is Alesha Klein and I am from Maple Grove, Minnesota, and I am in the Peace Corps Coverdell Fellows program at Illinois State University in the Anthropology track. I got my bachelor's degree at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in archaeology, and I minored in women's gender sexuality studies and anthropology. After my undergraduate degree, I went into the Peace Corps. I went to Ethiopia and I was a English teacher of 3 classes of grade 9. I had on average around 70 students per class. I also did a few smaller short-term projects, not so much short-term, but more side projects. I was the logistics officer in GAD, which is the Gender and Development Committee at Peace Corps Ethiopia. We were a committee that was formed to help fellow volunteers with getting them materials or getting them anything that they would need to assist them in possibly starting a gender club or just helping out in gender equality as much as we possibly could. I also did other side projects, but my other main side project was Grassroot Soccer, which is HIV/AIDS awareness through soccer. So I had kind of a camp twice a week after school. I'd have boys and girls come and play soccer, but we would use the soccer ball as, for example, the students having sex, and we would use cones as obstacles that would possibly get you or become infected with HIV or AIDS. And so the students would play soccer, but also learning about HIV/AIDS. There was a lot of challenges during my Peace Corps stint. I was there for 2 years, and in a third world country, things happen, that's for sure. My biggest problem was water. I would go many weeks without having water, running water in my compound or in my town. So I learned to become resourceful. I would go to my hub town to bathe. I would buy bottled water. I would just become very resourceful by making sure that I was not overusing water. And I know that water is very, very important, but a lot of people take advantage of what we use water for. If I wanted to cook anything, I would have to clean the vegetables or clean my dishes. And it was very difficult to clean because I wouldn't be able to use water to clean, or it was very difficult for me to cook because I couldn't do much without having water. And this experience, not just water, but my Peace Corps experience, really helped me with a lot of different things. I've learned a lot about myself, but I also have learned that I have gained patience because waiting for water to boil so that you could strain it through your water filter to then let it cool down so that you could drink it takes a lot of patience. And I could have just drank the water and become really sick, but that was not what I ended up doing, thankfully. So after my Peace Corps service, I knew I wanted to go to graduate school. I've always known that my entire life. I knew I wanted to further my education one way or another. And I found out about the Stevenson Center on the Peace Corps website under their Coverdell Fellowship because I wanted to see if I could possibly get a scholarship of some sort. And I knew that we had the Coverdell Fellowship available to us as Peace Corps volunteers. And what ultimately led me to enroll in the Stevenson Center is that not only did it have a stipend, it was somewhat close to Minneapolis, but mainly that it had my degree in what I knew what I wanted to work in. I have always been a volunteer and I've always been interested in development, and the Applied Community and Economic Development program at ISU is such a perfect degree in what I wanted to do. During this past year at ISU, I took a lot of anthropology classes and I took, of course, the community development classes. But I have to say, my favorite class out of all of our classes was our poli-sci community development class. At first, it was very difficult. I honestly had no idea what I was signing up for. And as the semester went along, my cohort and I, we would have a 3 hour long class once a week, and we would end up taking 2.5 hours of just discussion. And in graduate school, that's what I was hoping for, to truly discuss everything that we read, discuss the topics, and get into the nitty gritty. So I was really happy with that. But speaking of my cohort, I have to say my relationship with them is such a different dynamic than I would have ever thought. We are all fairly close and we're like a family. And we became each other's family because we were all pretty much not from Illinois. And we would have Friendsgiving together. We would meet up just to hang out. We just needed that time away from school, and Bloomington Normal in itself was a great place to live. So transitioning a little bit after Bloomington Normal about my professional practice, I'm currently working at two nonprofit organizations, the Center for Financial Services Innovation, CFSI, along with Credit Builders Alliance, CBA. And CFSI, its mission is to improve the financial health of Americans, especially the underserved, by shaping a robust and an innovative financial services marketplace with increased access to higher quality products and practices. The main three projects they do are research, consulting, and they have a financial solutions lab. And I actually work directly with the researching side. But then going quickly to CBA, or Credit Builders Alliance, they are a nonprofit social enterprise dedicated to building the capacity of a diverse and growing network of hundreds of nonprofits. And so what they do is they have about 500 members, is what they call them, and they are nonprofit organizations all around the United States. And they work with those nonprofits in helping individuals to build credit by either helping with credit building loans or making sure that individuals are reporting someone's credit when needed to. So they do a lot, but mainly managing credit of the organizations that they work with. But back to CFSI, this is, as I said, one of my two organizations I work with. And a couple projects that I've worked on are the prepaid scorecard. And this is a scorecard that CFSI debuts every year that's based in research, where an intern, a fellow, an associate researches all the prepaid cards out there in the industry, where they scan the industry to see what these prepaid cards do. What are the fees related to these cards? How many individuals are using these cards? And are they helping individuals? So every year someone updates that, and I did that this year. I'm also managing a LinkedIn account, and this is an account that CFSI needed to build a discussion of sorts. It's called the FinTech Nonprofit Working Group, and this is a group of a bunch of nonprofits that work directly with CFSI, and each head of the group or executive director is in this LinkedIn group, and I facilitate it and manage it by posting different articles related to those groups on where they work within financial health and financial technology and partnerships. And we discuss each of the articles that are posted, and we're trying to facilitate this conversation to continue this working group as best as they can. And then with CBA, I've done a lot of projects there, but the main one I've been doing recently is logistics, where I help out in inviting our members to our monthly webinars. I make sure that the members are receiving the information that they need related to those webinars. I go into what is called Salesforce and make sure that the members are up to date with all of their invoices. I assist the members in anything that they could possibly need for the logistic sides of the webinars. Along with, I am also helping out with IT of the webinars. So I sit back while a webinar is being hosted or played and contact any of the web developers that need help. For example, if someone can't hear the webinar, I make sure that someone on the IT side accesses that individual and make sure that they can hear. But I also do a lot of other projects. I assist in an international project that Dara, my executive director, heads, and we are currently trying to expand outside of the US and trying to get other countries to start reporting to the 3 credit bureaus. Also help out in the training and consulting by facilitating interviews of our fellow members to then report back to the staff to see where those members are in the road to financial empowerment. And then that's generally what I do. But finally, my next steps here after this fellowship. I plan to graduate, submit a capstone, and my next steps possibly would be a development organizer or manager related to development. I'm not actually really sure yet, but I think that would make me very happy to strengthen a nonprofit of some sort. But that's about it. Thanks.